Have you ever wondered why it's so hard to stick to new habits, yet it's so easy to fall into the bad ones? Well, the answer lies into how our brain works. Hi, my name is Precious, and one of my bachelor's of science is in psychology. Let's talk about the power of consistency and the science behind building habits that actually stick. So, consistency is about showing up every single day, regardless of how you are feeling on the motivational side. This is actually the secret in building new habits that can change both your brain and your life. So, in this video, we're going to talk about the neuroscience of consistency. We're going to take a deep dive into habit loops, and then we're going to talk about how dopamine actually fuels your habits. And then at the end, I'll give you some practical tips to help you in your consistency journey. So let's start with the neuroscience of habits and consistency. So neuroplasticity is your brain's ability to form and adapt by forming new neural connections in your brain. So this is how we learn things. This is how we develop a new skill. And this is also how we form an habit. So when you repeat an action, the neural pathway for this behavior in your brain strengthens. So over time, this deliberate action that you're taking turns into something that is automatic and it forms into a habit or a behavior. This is why, for example, you don't even think about brushing your teeth, like the movement you're supposed to take while brushing your teeth, because that behavior has become so automatic that it's just a shortcut in your brain for you to know how to do it. Okay, so now that we've talked about neuroplasticity, let's talk about the habit loop and how habits are actually formed. So the habit loop actually consists of three different elements. So the first one is cue, then routine, and reward. So let's break this down on a deeper level. So cue is the trigger that starts that new behavior or starts that behavior. So on an external note, it could be your alarm going off, but on an internal note, it could be you feeling stressed about a particular thing. So for example, when you wake up in the morning, that's a cue, and you see your running shoes by your door, it signals to your brain that it's time for you to go on your morning jog or run. So now routine. Routine is the action that you take in response to that cue. So this is the actual habit. So back to the example, this is you lacing up your shoes and you going on that jog or that run. Because remember, routine is the action that you take in response to that cue. And the process of repetition, when you continuously repeat these behaviors, it makes it easier over time. And the third one is reward, which is the positive outcome that reinforces the habit, making you want to repeat it. So for example, back to the example, after the jog or the run, you feel energized and accomplished. This makes you want to run or jog again tomorrow in the morning because you remember how it made you feel after you did the run or jog. So why exactly does the habit loop work? Remember, the three elements are cue, which is the trigger for the new behavior, routine, which is the action, and reward, which is what reinforces that behavior. So why exactly does this work? This boils down to our brain just loving efficiency. So it automates repetitive actions through the habit loop to give us more mental energy for other tasks that we're working on. This is why habits are so powerful, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. Okay, now moving on, let's talk about dopamine's role in habits. So what exactly is dopamine? Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that acts as your brain's reward chemical. It's released when you experience something that is pleasurable or satisfying. So I want you to think about dopamine like your brain's motivator. So it helps you feel motivated to do things because you feel good after you've accomplished it or after you've done them. So how exactly does dopamine drive this habit loop? So during the cue stage, which is the trigger for the new behavior, dopamine actually spikes when you are anticipating the reward. So for example, when you see your favorite snack, that actually triggers a dopamine release because your brain remembers the pleasure of you eating that snack. So now dopamine during the routine stage, remember the routine stage is that action for the cue. So dopamine actually keeps you motivated for when you complete that task or behavior. So for example, let's say you're working out. While you're working out, your dopamine levels are rising gradually. This encourages you to keep working out because your brain knows how the post-workout reward is going to feel. So now dopamine during the reward stage, which is the reinforcement of that habit. So dopamine actually floods your brain when the habit is complete. This is because it's reinforcing or trying to reinforce that behavior. So for example, the runner's high after a run or a jog is just a dopamine surge. It's your brain telling you, this was so worth it. Let's do this again. Dopamine fuels our good habits as well as our bad habits. So unhealthy habits like overeating and procrastination also activate these dopamine pathways in our brain. When these are activated, it makes it a lot harder for us to stop these bad habits. The key in this is to redirect this mechanism into a positive habit. Okay, now that we've talked about this, let's turn all of this into practical steps. Let's say that your goal is to start waking up early in the morning. Your cue would be you setting your alarm. Your routine would be you getting up and turning up your alarm and getting your day started. And then the reward would be you enjoying that relaxing day you set for yourself. And also having a productive morning before the rest of your day begins. So now when it comes to breaking bad habits, you need to identify your cues. For example, do you eat snacks when you're bored? You can switch this to something healthier like going on a walk or reading a book. For me, I have a bad habit of after I do my bedtime routine, after I've brushed my teeth, flossed my teeth, and if I don't go to bed within 30 minutes of me brushing my teeth, I find myself eating like a full course meal or a snack after I've just brushed and flossed my teeth. So I identified those cues. So because I'm aware of that, I now know that it doesn't matter as soon as I've brushed my teeth, as soon as I've gotten out of the shower, brushed my teeth, flossed my teeth, I need to go to bed immediately. And for the reward section, instead of you feeling guilty, reward yourself for you making a healthier or a wiser decision. And that's me. When I go to bed immediately after my shower and brushing my teeth and flossing my teeth, the next morning I wake up and I'm so proud of myself for overcoming that temptation. Some tips in staying consistent is that you need to start small. You don't just wake up one day and tell yourself, oh, I want to go on a 5-mile run. No, start by telling yourself, let's run just for 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, after you do that for a while, let's do 10 minutes. Then up it slowly and gradually. This helps you stay consistent. Also, what makes it easier is when you stack a new habit to an existing one. So for me, when I work out, I like to take a class in my workout, and I already regularly work out. So it's so easier for me to take classes like dance classes, Pilates, because I can just do that because I'm already at the gym. So if you have a habit of drinking coffee in the morning, use that time as a gratitude time as you're drinking coffee, if you want to add gratitude to your consistent daily routine. The next is to use visual cues. So if you want to work out, make sure to put your workout clothes somewhere in your room that you'll see and remind yourself, oh, I need to go work out. And lastly, you need to celebrate your progress, regardless of how small it is. You need to celebrate that you started. Starting is oftentimes one of the hardest parts. Missing a day doesn't erase your progress. Think of these setbacks as a part of the process. Remember, your brain is wired to help you succeed. Use the habit loop and the power of dopamine to your advantage. Now, I want to ask you, what is one habit that you want to start working on? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching this video, and let me know if there's any more topics you'd like me to further expand on. Bye!